I find it crazy how in 2025 we still have people calling mental health new age nonsense or woo-woo. Now this is different, of course, from acknowledging all the ways that mental health has been hijacked, and psychology too. And there are people out there who are making a ton of money, telling people to only focus on their trauma.
And how do you feel about that? Depressed.
Or by convincing them that there's something wrong with them when there isn't, and that they need to be medicated constantly for the rest of their lives. But as with so many other things in our society, we can't just simply throw the baby out with the bathwater. Mental health is a crucial component of holistic health and in experiencing overall wellness in our lives. So just because past generations were able to get by just by shoving their feelings down and never talking about what was going on in their heads, this didn't solve their problems. I believe that this actually created generational trauma that got passed down. Now this doesn't mean that we blame our parents for everything, or that we should be playing the victim card.
Oh, everyone's out to get me, you're ruining my life.
And say that we can't ever heal because of what our parents did or because of what our grandparents did. But we can be the ones who break the generational curse. We do need to recognize where our patterns and where our behaviors are coming from, but then it's up to us to take the right actions to change them. We do need to acknowledge what's causing our pain, whether externally or of course sometimes it can be something that's been buried in our past. So in today's video I want to dive deeper into mental health and why it's not just woo-woo or new age nonsense, and all the ways that by avoiding your mental health and working on it, you might be hurting your chances at success and happiness. Anyways, without further ado, let's dive deeper now.
Give me a...
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the Jared and James channel. I'm Jared Weiss. If you guys know that must mean not subscribe to the channel so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts on the video. Follow me on every platform, and if you guys haven't done so already, make sure to check out my book, Fight Through It by Jared Weiss. All links purchased on my website, which is jaredryanweiss.com. That's JaredRyanWeiss.com. Buy the book, support me. Make sure to check out all the awesome shirts in there as well. Every shirt is made of 100% organic cotton. Every shirt is so motivational saying, so it's words in it. So as I'm always saying, any support at all is very much appreciated. So let's dive deeper into mental health and why it's not just new age nonsense now. So to start with, the people who do say things like mental health is just new age nonsense, or that we shouldn't talk about our feelings, well of course I do disagree strongly. There is a part of what they're saying that is true. So I'm going to acknowledge that. There is a part of mental health and psychology or psychiatry that's been hijacked. And of course a lot of this has been done intentionally, but the problem is when mental health for people becomes perpetual mental illness, and people convincing themselves or people convincing you there's something wrong with you.
You think sickness like that grows on trees? Nobody is sicker than me, nobody!
And you need either endless medications, or there's nothing you can do about it. That's where the problem lies. Cause it's just not true. Let me explain further. If you know me by now, you know I believe that you can heal from anything, you can overcome anything, and you can change course at any time. Nothing has to last forever. There are always actions you can take, different inputs you could try. Change your environment, the people who are in your life, what you do every day, how you wake up in the morning, the attitude that you have.
This is the greatest cup of coffee of all time. I want to write a song about it.
I want to dance to that song.
So acting like you're helpless isn't the answer. Neither is only focusing on your trauma or over-focusing on it and talking about it 24/7 and acting like your past has to control your future and there's no other options. So the perpetual victim state is problematic, and there is of course an agenda behind this once again, and awareness of this is key to knowing when mental health talk is real and helpful versus knowing when it's trying to keep you down and to keep you as a perpetual victim. So that's the part of mental health that's been hijacked. Now next up, we have to take action to heal the generational trauma. So this is not just about you, especially because past generations carried trauma, and this gets passed on to you whether through your genes, or through the stories you've heard growing up, or even the toxins that are being passed on to you. So you can't just ignore all the trauma and make pretend that none of it is affecting you at all.
I'm fine! Totally fine!
Once again, the whole suck it up thing and act like you're totally fine and you just have to keep going, that's not helpful. But the key part here is action. Not just saying it or acting spiritual, but taking the right actions every day. Are you aware of your habits? Are you meditating? Are you taking time daily for silence? Are you fueling your body right? And not just with food, but with all the media that you're watching. The shows you're watching, the content on social media. the people who you're choosing to follow? Are you unfollowing people who aren't good for you? Are you keeping your distance from toxic friends and people who make you feel bad about yourself? And when it comes to mental health, just as with all other aspects of health, it's like watering plants. You don't just do it once and expect to have perfect health. It's about the daily habits every day. It's knowing your triggers. I've spoken to plenty of people over the years who know what they have to do and know what drives their mental health into a downward spiral, whether it's drinking a lot or eating poorly or hanging around the wrong people, and that awareness is key, but then you have to do something about it. You can't just let it hang around. Moving ahead, I want to talk about why I believe it's good that we talk about our feelings now. For so many years, people, especially men, were told to keep quiet and suck it up when it came to their feelings. And of course, you have people these days from past generations who were saying things like, this generation is too soft. And I just sucked it up and I didn't need to talk about these things. I didn't need any of this woo-woo, and look at me, I turned out just fine. But are these people really fine?
I'm fine!
Or are they covering up generational trauma and often angry and drinking away their pain, distracting from their problems, convincing themselves that they're fine because they're surviving, but are they actually thriving? Probably not in a lot of cases.
We're getting by okay.
Sal, with all due respect, if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. Do you hear yourself? You're getting by okay.
And so many of these people contributed to the problems that this next generation faced, I believe. And I'm not saying we need to blame them. They were doing what they had to survive. And they also learned these behaviors from their parents. But now if you have the option to heal and talk about your feelings and talk about what's bothering you, talk about what shaped you and try to heal from it, we shouldn't be looking down on this, but rather embrace it. Now the problem once again is when we get trapped in our trauma and only focus on what's quote unquote wrong with us. We can move past our trauma and heal, and I of course encourage this. It's not just being oh, I went through all this crap, bad parents, bad teachers, bad coaches, and so now I can't move on. So I'm just going to talk about it without giving myself a chance at healing, or without creating an opportunity for something new to happen. So we don't want to get stuck down there, but we do need to acknowledge everything, so that this way that pain no longer holds power over us anymore. We don't ignore what happened to us, we talk about it, recognize which behaviors were shaped by those events, cry or feel whatever emotions this pain brings up,
just do what I do when I have problems. Scream!
And have empathy and compassion for ourselves, but then we create new patterns to help us move on and to move forward stronger. That's true mental wellness and true mental health in action. Next, this idea that men just have to suck it up and that we shouldn't have feelings is crazy. And I believe this is why so many of our problems, both men and women, still exist. Acting like you don't have feelings doesn't just magically get rid of them. It just makes them grow bigger, or that suppression turns into other feelings like anger.
She says I suppress my emotions.
And I'm sure that so many of the people saying these things really wish that they could have talked about these feelings a while ago. They wish that they would have had someone to listen to them, instead of shut them up and shut them down. So now they want to convince you that because they survived through it, you can too. But is that the best way? Ignoring emotions doesn't mean that the body stops carrying them. They still show up once again as anger, stress, tension, and even illness, or at least a contributing factor to it. So we can't just be ignoring these. Moving ahead, performance and mental health go hand in hand. Mental health isn't about being soft, and this is a huge reason why I believe that so many athletes these days are getting better and better. Because mental health was often an overlooked part of our games, but now that we're taking action on it, and acknowledging it, the mental game and the physical game are both leveling up. CEOs, of course, acknowledge this too. Building up your resilience, understanding what makes you tick, understanding your triggers and behavioral patterns are all things that when fully understood, you can turn your mindset into a performance enhancer rather than a detractor. And it doesn't have to be a weakness anymore. For the people who dismiss the entire field of mental health, or call it woo-woo or nonsense, and unnecessary because of the over-commercialization of it, and how it's become a moneymaker, of course, this doesn't take away the core principles of it. I know plenty of people who've had an amazing experience with therapy when that therapist is someone who empowers them. Of course, on the other hand, you also have the therapist who relies on that prescription pad and doesn't actually want their clients to heal. But in this case, and once again being someone who believes in holistic health very strongly, and understanding every input, I realize how you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and unfortunately, that's a huge thing that happens on social media these days. The algorithms always love people talking blanket statements, black or white, because of course this generates clicks and controversy, but oftentimes the truth is found somewhere in the middle. True mental health isn't about blaming your past forever and using that as a crutch. It's about recognizing patterns, healing them, and breaking cycles so that this way they don't have to get passed down anymore. True mental health is empowering, not victimizing. And I think the more manly or even womanly thing to do with their feelings or trauma isn't to deny it or suck it up and pretend that these things don't exist, but rather to face it and grow from it and learn more about why we are the way we are. And if there's any improvements that need to be made, we make them. Now finally in this episode, I want to talk about resilience versus avoidance and expand on this. So many people often confuse ignoring their problems with strength. It's like, oh, I'm tough because I'm shoving that thing down, and now it doesn't affect me anymore. Real resilience, though, is about facing hard truths. It's also about processing emotions and adapting. Avoidance might feel strong in the moment, but it weakens you over time. And unfortunately, a whole culture and several generations glorified the whole push down your emotions, and the whole push through pain and rub some dirt on it.
Suck it up! Be a man and rub some dirt in it!
But that's avoidance, not resilience. People who acknowledge and face their mental health challenges and work through them, whether on their own or with help from a therapist, a family member, or a friend, will emerge more adaptable, compassionate, and steady under pressure. That's the kind of resilience that lasts because it's built on the foundation of seeing, feeling, and then healing, not push down, get rid of, ignore it. Anyways guys, I hope this video helps you out. I feel like you guys enjoyed hearing my perspective on mental health and why it's not just new age nonsense or woo woo. If you guys liked the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment. I will catch you guys next time. Stay positive, stay hustling, stay grinding, catch you next time. Peace.